Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the GSR podcast. This time, we'll be covering investing in the Philippines with our special guest today, Hitoshi Iemura-san. Now, Iemura-san has a wonderfully storied career as well, in that he managed things in the Tokyo Corp for over 15 years, Iemura-san?
Yes.
And Tokyo Corp is apparently extremely famous in Japan, especially for the 10-9, which can read as Tokyo in Japanese kanji. It's a very popular fashion brand for young women. Though they're not just in fashion, they also do a swathe of other things like railways, real estate management, and the like. Aside from Tokyo Corp, Iemura-san moved on to Accenture, doing strategies building and expanding on businesses. And expanding on businesses is one of Iemura-san's specialties, in that he also handled corporate merging and acquisition under Mitsubishi UFJ Capital. A lot of cross-border stuff. Basically, his career has been able to elevate Iemura-san's insight when it comes to working internationally and monitoring the different macroeconomic situations of different countries to a wonderfully expert degree. And as of now, he is the executive director of GSR and is also an executive at Philippine Assets Consulting?
Philippine Asset Management.
Philippine Asset Management and Consulting. Thank you very much. So we'll mainly be covering the topics of the economic situation in the Philippines, specifically the macroeconomy side, which means the side that doesn't deal with individual economic stuff or purchases, but more on what the country does as a whole. And then we'll also be covering investing in real estate and in stocks, particularly Philippine real estate and Philippine stocks. As Iemura-san started investing in real estate around 15 years ago in the Philippines, right?
Yeah, 2009.
And as of now, he's also investing in Philippine stocks by himself without a stockbroker or manager, which is another really big thing in its own right. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. And hello, everyone. Thank you for listening this video, and thank you for joining our conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much again, everyone. So a little bit of a background about where I'm at so we can get the conversation going, Iemura-san. This is actually my first foray into office life, and I'm just your average working class Filipino. I don't quite have the purchasing power to go for pre-selling investments yet, and I only have minimal knowledge about stocks and about the economy in general. I know that statistically we're doing good, like we're still good on the charts, but as a working class Filipino citizen, what do you think I should be watching out for so that when I do get purchasing power, I have better insight on what exactly it is I should invest in?
I think the important thing for any people, young people and elderly people, to have several cash points.
Several cash points.
Okay. Of course, you're working for the company.
Yes.
You can get a salary from the company. Very important. At the same time, I think everyone, not specified people, everyone could have another cash point, which is investment, because you have a lot of time for working.
That's true.
In office, so you don't have much time to do anything else. But investment, you can do investment. So I really recommend for everyone to have another cash point through investment. That's why investment is very important. And there are many variety of investment, actually. There are many. This can be started from a small amount, and some investment need a pretty big amount of money. But there are chance to start investment from a small amount of money. The first recommendation for me, for young people who doesn't have enough money for investment, I think stock market in Philippines is really good, because Philippine stock market, even if you buy like ALA, SM, those kind of big name, you can buy average Okay, 5,000 peso
Worth
like
of
that.
stock.
Yeah,
Oh.
5,000 peso. Anybody can start.
Mm.
Yeah. So important things: start investment, not just studying.
But actually
Yeah,
starting
I think the actual experience is really important for investment, not just study. Yeah. Then you have a big attention for the market up, down. Of course, market is all up and down.
Yeah.
So sometimes you lose money, sometimes profit. But in a long-term period, basically, investment could give you the benefit.
I see.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really interested in the fact you said that going for the stock market right now is a
Yeah.
really good option.
Yeah,
a lot of financial advisors or investors would say to go for the more stable investments like bank interests or bonds, right?
Okay.
But why would you say that right now is a good time for young people to invest in the stock market?
Okay. I always say our client people, there is no good timing to start investment. No time.
Oh.
Just start it now.
Mm.
Just start it now.
Mainly so that you can just accumulate experience.
Yeah,
right?
because market is always up and down, volatility. But in a long history, for example, I think not only Philippine market, but also almost any major market, up and down, but the long trend up. So it's hard to take a bottom fishing. Nobody knows when is a bottom. Nobody knows. So just start whatever time.
I
It's
like that a lot.
immediately. Let's start now. This is very important. No action, no return, and just studying doesn't make any return. Just
True.
start. Yeah. And in the reality, actually today is over October 1st.
October 2nd, I think.
Second.
Yeah.
Actually, this is just incidentally happened, but now Philippine market is
Going up
going
really
up
fast.
really,
Okay.
really from couple of weeks ago. So now is actually they are on the uptrend. But it doesn't matter uptrend or downtrend. Just start now. It's very important.
It's good to hear that even with a starting investment of around 5,000 Philippine pesos, I can already get my start on the stock market. Do you use any specific apps to go on stock market? Are you mainly like a desktop trader?
I'm using my PC, but of course I sometimes use my PC. Yeah, I'm using the application of AB Capital Securities.
EBI Capital?
AB Capital.
EBI is in shrimp, EBI?
Huh?
EBI is in shrimp?
AB.
Oh, AB, okay.
AB Capital. AB Capital Securities. I use the application and I have account of them. There I can buy all listed stocks.
Does it cost anything to start an account in a stock market app?
I don't think so. Yeah. Anyone can access to AB Capital website and open account and send the money to the account and start. And also, I think I've never used it, but they have a Gcash application.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's big. Okay.
So anyone who have a Gcash account, they can start stock trading through AB Capital.
Which means it's even more accessible now.
Yeah.
Iemura-san, out of morbid curiosity, were you able to capitalize on the GameStop stock crash when it happened? Yeah, around 2020, 2021.
Yeah, those kind of prey. Of course, this is one of the prey in the stock market.
Yeah.
This is more speculation. I'm clearly separate investment and speculation.
Oh.
Yeah. So I prefer investment. I don't deny is speculation. Speculation is also the game. So yeah, whichever or both. Anyone pick up whatever you like. But I like investment. What the difference between investment and speculation? Investment is more foreseeable. We can analyze data and we could see what's happening next. But speculation is more gambling, right?
True, it
Yeah,
is.
more
Yeah.
gambling. But
The returns
the
are higher.
movement, fluctuation is really big. Like GameStop.
Yeah, so higher risk, higher reward.
GameStop, they jumped and dropped significantly like that. So of course they could have a chance to make a profit on the trend of the jumping. Yeah, but it's hard to see. It's hard to expect when they are going to drop.
True,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
and another thing is a big difference between speculation and investment. Investment, the fundamental. For example, fundamental of company, their financial performance, their business strategy, their client base, their business model. We can see, and we can see and check and analyze. Then we could expect.
And
what
it's
they are
easier
going
to expect
Yeah.
those things in terms
Yeah.
of investment compared
Yeah,
to
yeah. So
speculation.
based on this means that based on the investment, based on the information. Yeah.
It's more information based compared to speculation.
Yeah. So
That's
and
really
also
interesting.
investment it could be I like a long term investment rather than short. Yeah.
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 Let me provide some audience context. Around, it was like 2021 or 2022, right? The GameStop company was almost to the point of going bankrupt, I believe. So their stock shares, the value of the stocks of the company was extremely low. And I believe a lot of the hedge funds or funds in general, they wanted to try to make it go even lower or basically artificially manipulate it.
Yeah.
But there was one entity, one group from Reddit called Wall Street Bets that basically capitalized on what the funds were doing and earned upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars collectively from that speculation. It was also hilarious to the entirety of the internet because a bunch of people on Reddit who played purely on speculation as if it were a video game somehow ended up costing hedge funds almost billions of dollars from their manipulation of the market.
Yeah.
It's interesting from a business perspective. Though I really like what you said about monitoring the fundamentals of a company when it comes to picking what you want to invest in. So, what would you say are the top three things about a company's fundamentals that you should look at before investing in them stock-wise?
Okay. I check the financials like revenue, net income, and also growth. And there are basically three types of financial I'm checking. One is profit and loss. Yeah. Second is more balance sheet, asset and liability. Yeah. And third is cash flow. I would check three financials. And in addition to that important thing, their actual price right now.
Like the price of the stocks itself.
Yeah, because even if the very good financial, very good company, sometimes their stock price is already really high, overvalued. But another company, they are really beautiful financial situation, but their stock price is really low, undervalued. I want to try. I want to pick undervalued.
True, because that way you're already at an advantage once the stock starts to go up in value when people notice their financials.
So meaning that it is very important to know which company is an excellent company. Ayala, SM, Bloomberry, there are many good company in Philippine Stock Exchange. But some company already overvalued, some other company still undervalued. They got undervalued. To know undervalue or overvalue is really important. To judge this, I watch the number of target price. There is a target price. Professional people calculate target price this company's real value is here, but actual stock price is here. This is undervalued. We have a space to increase. But this company's fair market value is here, but the stock price here already overvalued. In that case, even this company is really good, but your investment could be not good.
True.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I
What
always
sites do
check.
you use to check on the target on the fair market values?
You can, of course, if you open the account of the AB Capital or
AB,
other security brokers, they prepare those kind of data in their platform. Yeah.
And so it's all prepared for you beforehand by the company that you're going to be trading investment stocks.
Yeah.
All right.
And some public website like Market Screener. I'm always watching Market Screener. They prepare the target price.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to sum all of that up for now, because that's really, really good insight for a working class Filipino.
Yeah.
Your investments can start as low as 5K.
Yeah.
Get your foot in the door ASAP, because the experience of investing is the most important thing, right? So go to AB Core.
It's
check
very very important to have a failure experience.
I love that.
Very good study.
It's the spirit of Kaizen, right? Of continuous improvement.
You don't do any action, no success, no failure. Yeah. Failure is okay. Failure is good study. Yeah. So if you start small amount, even if you make a failure, not big damage. But I really think people don't put significant, very big money to the investment. Investment should be done in your extra money.
Rather than as your main source of
other
income.
than your food cost and residential.
Yeah.
That people need money for daily life.
Yeah.
So I think I recommend people who use the money to investment extra money other than daily life.
I like that a lot. Thank you, Iemura.
Yeah.
I also like that you made a distinction between investment stocks versus speculation. Because when a lot of Filipinos hear about the stock market, they always think of the speculation game. Because to be fair, that's the one that gives more risk reward. But at the same time, not a lot of people think of investing in stocks as one of the main plays. What made you get started in investing in the stock market? Like what year did you start investing in the stock
What
market?
year?
Yeah, and
Me?
you.
Oh, me. I started investment since I was 23, 4.
You were monitoring stocks that early?
Oh yeah. I started investment in stock market in Japan, US. Yeah, actually, yeah. I'm starting from Japan and go to US. Now I invest my stock investment spread around the world, including Philippines. Yeah.
What's it like doing that? Like, are there specific differences between stock markets and stock selection depending on the country?
Oh yeah, of course, totally different. For example, in the global trend, AI is a big trend. So AI related company like Nvidia, chip maker, that stock price very high. This is in the U.S. market, right? So, for example, even in Japan, the major stock and very active, energetic stock is tech related, semiconductor, AI related, like that.
Yeah.
In US, of course, AI related or big tech giant like Magnificent Seven, like that. But in Philippines, totally different. Philippine market totally different.
How so?
Because economic stage is different. Philippines is now the growing stage, developing stage, right? The US, Japan matured. So meaning that all infrastructure already done. Yeah. So people have the growth driver now shift to more tech. But in Philippines, no. Building subway, building road, development of condominium housing. This is booming now.
Because
So,
we're still
yeah.
growing still.
Yeah. So for my perspective, the target sector industry in Philippines, not tech, not tech, infrastructure, property development, or bank. They lend the money to property development, infrastructure. Yeah, and also food. URC, Monde. Philippines have a big population.
Yes.
Everybody must eat. Yeah.
Yes.
Food business always good in Philippines. Yeah, like that. So each country have a different development stage. So each the strategy to invest it
Each country is
totally different. Yeah, yeah.
That's interesting to think about. I never really thought about our status as a country factoring into what stocks to select. And that, well, it's also interesting to think you have your pick of what stocks to look at from country to country. It's not the sort of thing.
Totally different. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm buying tech stock in US, but I'm buying bank stock and property stock and food manufacturer. I
For
buy
here in the Philippines.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I just won tech stock recently. Digipress, Digipress,
No,
online
actually.
gaming company. Yeah, I just bought it recently, but I think only one. Other one more infrastructure, property, banking, more hard infrastructure type of business.
Because we have all of these ongoing projects to expand our roads, right?
Yeah.
Which companies did you invest in out of curiosity?
Which company?
Yeah, for Philippine stocks.
Philippine, actually, I'm running the Philippine stock club membership.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Okay.
for Japanese investors. So that's I'm a person to tell something to our members. So I need to buy many variety of stocks. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, I have more than 100 stocks.
Oh my goodness.
But my preference, yeah, banks, real estate, food company, and telecom. Yeah, because the internet is
It's also growing
around Philippines.
Yeah, that's another interesting take, the telcos, because our infrastructure for internet isn't complete yet, right? We still need to extend it to the rest of the regions of the Philippines.
That's right.
Okay. So to summarize, well, before that, do you think since we're in the status of being a growing country, do you think it's a safe investment to invest in those areas for the next 10, 15 years, infrastructure, banks, and food?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Philippines is ongoing phase of growing up. So maybe many people don't know. Philippines is one of the biggest growth potentiality in the world, meaning that the Philippines is going to grow up significant percentage next 20-30 years. Because one of the biggest factor for Philippines have a big young people population. We called population dividend, population bonus, which is a ratio between the non-labor and labor population. The country which have big labor population, which is almost double population than non-labor. Non-labor meaning the baby or old people. Yeah. Philippines have about 2 times bigger labor force population. This is very good for growth of the economy. Philippines is one of the biggest. Philippines have one of the biggest labor population. So Philippine economy is be expected to grow longer. So many people have a big attention. Many people have a big attention to India. India is huge population, and also they are also growing up. I think Philippines is kind of a compact India, mini India. So English speaking is also very good benefit for Philippines to invite business from outside. And also, of course, in the case of Philippines, Philippine people go out as a OFW. This is also a big impact for the Philippine economic growth.
You mentioned we're at. I think you mentioned in one of the slides that OFWs make up 10% of our population.
OFW earn 10% of
Oh.
GDP, gross domestic product of Philippines. Yeah, 10%. Yeah, this is very important because the OFW people remit the money to their family every year. I forget the number. Yeah, 2-3 trillion Philippine peso every year.
That's
Remit the money
a
to
lot.
their family. And how do they spend the money? Biggest amount of their spending to go to house, to buy house. So that's why Philippine real estate is really stable and the stable growth story we could expect.
That's a slice of the macroeconomic situation in the Philippines right now, huh? So I guess that means with regards to macroeconomy, our housing market is still going to keep growing, especially because of the expansion, right?
Oh yeah, expansion. Yeah. The real estate market in Philippines, of course, central business district like Makati, BGC, their price actually as of now, already
super overvalued, right?
Not overvalued.
Oh.
Expensive, not overvalued.
Oh.
Yeah, they still have a chance to grow up. In my experience, for example, Tokyo. Tokyo is center of Japan.
Yes.
Tokyo's real estate price also really high, but they always keep on increasing their value. Not only in Tokyo, New York, London,
all of
Sydney,
the centers, the capitals.
Center of the city in each country, their real estate, everyone always think, oh, okay, too expensive over. No, always they break the record.
Oh,
this is a history. That's why I think Makati, BGC already high, but I think still
it can go higher.
Still can be go higher.
Wow, that puts a lot of perspective into the current situation.
But of course, it's okay to buy the house in a suburb. Of course, because Philippine is, as I said, Philippine is still developing phase, meaning that the scroll phenomenon happens. Scroll phenomenon is city expanding to the outskirt. Yeah, the make suburb. This happened in Japan. I know. This happened in Tokyo, for example, 1970. Tokyo, center of Tokyo expanding.
It just rippled outwards.
Yeah, rippled out, right? Tokyo here and Chiba, Saitama, Kanagawa. This is the prefecture around Tokyo. Their land price, real estate prices has been going up because
until now.
Until now, yeah. So, yeah, and I think Philippine real estate market have a long-term growth story.
All right. No, that's really good news for me because I don't have the purchasing power now. That means if I get more purchasing power in the future, enough to allocate more and more money towards investments, then that means things like pre-selling units within the central business districts will be able to safely go up in value. And I won't have to worry about losing money as long as the developer is good anyway, and as long as they deliver on time.
I think the investment in Philippines, any type of investment, real estate stock, this is still blue ocean. Blue ocean means that many people have a chance to win. Red ocean is really hard. It's the competitive is really severe, crowded market. So it's had limited space for grow up. But Philippines still in blue ocean. So I think, but of course, not all property going up. Not all. Some property down. Yeah, of course, it happens. But in my view, the important factor is only two. Of course, location and developer. Those two. If you don't miss those two factors,
It'll always
value is going up. Yeah.
I think that's a really good place for us to take a short break for the meantime,
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
that was a great comment to end on for the moment. So let's just grab ourselves some water and then continue the discussion in a bit. All right.
Okay.
We'll be back after this short break. Thank you
Yeah,
again
yeah.
very much to everyone. And we're going to talk more about the three main topics later, which is macroeconomic stuff, investing in Philippine real estate, and investing in the Philippine stock market. So we'll be right back. For all of your property needs, come to Global Strategy Real Estate, GSR. We at GSR are your one-stop shop for anything related to your property and more. From management to buying, selling, documentation, and maintenance, we have your back. At GSR, we aspire to provide the level of quality and service which put Japan on the map as one of the hallmarks of hospitality. Let us manage your property today. And we're back. Thank you very much, everyone, for the wait.
Hello again.
So Iemura-san wonderfully graced me with some really good information, in that he mentioned that infrastructure is probably the most important factor when it comes to economic growth for a country. And that's really interesting because, like what we covered with Sir Ian during our previous podcast episode, and like what Iemura-san mentioned before, we are a growing nation. That means we have a lot of projects, especially stations and road extensions. Iemura-san also mentioned during break time, and I'm doing my best to recall this top of mind because it was so interesting, that we're in the position now as a country that's starting to get all of these stations built. We're in the same position as Japan was when their railways were beginning, which means that all of the land that's going to be in front of the stations, all of the land that's going to be in close proximity to all of these stations and all of these developments, is most likely going to skyrocket in value, especially since we have so many of them upcoming. Iemura-san has a 200-300 slide presentation on a lot of the nitty-gritty details that you can view through our various channels. And because of the current BBB, Build Better Something, which is now BBM, Build Better More, we have around 185 government projects. And that means because of all of these infrastructure developments, land is guaranteed right now to go up, which is where Iemura-san got the correct prediction that our infrastructure market is going to continue going up. And I see the amazing thing about this is you're a very good teacher, because I only knew about these developments from our previous episode with Sir Ian, and within the week of studying all of the supplementary material which you gave me, I had to literally Google the definition of economics earlier today to remember what exactly it meant, which is just how a country earns and spends its money. So you wanted to talk about the macroeconomic situation in the Philippines and its important points. So aside from infrastructure and monitoring that, what else is something extremely important you want to talk about regarding the macroeconomy side of the Philippines?
Yeah. Firstly, I need to talk about the fact of the Philippine economic growth. In the last 10 years, ASEAN country is a kind of one of the hot spot for growth in the world. The Philippines and Vietnam always top growth.
Always?
Highest growth.
Okay.
Yeah, last 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Philippines or Vietnam, they have growth 6-7% every year
for the last 10 years.
GDP growth last 10 years, always top two. Yeah, even this year, maybe this year's 2024 forecasted 6% growth of Philippines, and also Vietnam is 6%. Those two countries are top of ASEAN in growth of economy. This is a fact, and this is very important. And factor to grow economy. Firstly, as I talked, population. population, size of the population, and the structure of the population.
And you mentioned
Yeah.
because we have a large population and majority of it is working.
Labor, yeah, labor population. This,
Mm.
yeah, Vietnam also have it, yeah.
Mm.
And of course, size of the population also important, meaning that yeah, Philippines have a 110 million population, meaning that the population is go over 100 million. This is very important. Big economy. Yeah, Vietnam also around one. I'd say they have a little bit less than Philippines, but they have 95 million or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So those two countries is firstly we need to know those two countries is the top growth in ASEAN, and not only in ASEAN, we see globally. Philippines growth is one of the top, even in the global.
So globally, we make a lot of money.
I mean that the Philippine economy
okay.
is the growth of the economy, growth ratio of the economy, one of the top, even around the world.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is so, and basically investment, the success of investment heavily linked with economy, macroeconomy. The investment in a good economy, it is a higher chance to get a good return. Right? This is linkage. So that's why I always check the macroeconomic situation. All countries I investing. Yeah, Philippines is one of the best.
Because not only is its growth rate high, it's also been consistent over the past 10 years.
And I think you can Google the GDP. What is a component of GDP? Yeah, GDP.
Yeah.
The biggest factor in GDP, any country, consumption.
So how much a country spends?
Not country, people.
Oh, the people specifically.
Yeah, people spend money. This is the biggest item of GDP. So high consumption country, GDP is good. In the case of Philippines, I think 70% of the GDP of Philippines consumption.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, buy food, buy house, buy anything. Yeah, this is very important. Buying power. And and population, and what else? Yeah, of course, industry also important, because even if there are many population, many people don't have work, don't have a job. It doesn't work for economic growth. So big population and big job creation must be exist. Yeah, this is very important. And the infrastructure is kind of a base of economic growth. No infrastructure, no growth. So infrastructure
is at the very bottom, followed by the buying power.
Basement of the country infrastructure. Yeah, especially transportation infrastructure, railway, bridge, skyway, airport, like that.
That's really good information to know, given, like what you said, we really are right at the start of our growth when it comes to transportation too, right?
Yeah.
Because for those not in the know, we have the new Manila airport being developed for one thing. We have the north-south commuter railway. Yeah, that's a thing where it goes from south of Manila to I forget where, but it's basically 581. 581 kilometers of railway. And then there's the subway, and then there's the extension of the MRT and LRT lines. And in Iemura-san's presentation, that a lot of those projects are slated to complete in the next 5 to 10 years, hopefully, if they're going according to plan. That's really big, because doesn't that mean that within the next 5 to 10 years we can expect all of the land in the areas around those stations and around those highways to, like what you said, to ripple outward and for the land there to develop even more?
I know the history, because I have experience in. I worked for Tokyo Corporation, and I was in charge of property development. The strategy of Tokyo, they are running the railway businesses. So they have a land in the station, in front of the station, right? So their strategy, they start to develop far away from the station and gradually go go near to
because that way they can isolate the land that they want, right? They have borders already, and then they can just build inward.
Going to the station. Then this value, this land value, skyrocketed high.
Because it goes outside
develop outside. From development from outside, then going to the station.
And since it's developing like this, that means the value of the land inside goes up even more. Okay.
Finally, the in front of the station. Okay, we built the shopping mall, high skyscraper of condominium. This time, land value already really high because the development already done. And also railway is running. So this must be prime property and really high value.
I see.
This is a strategy.
That's such an interesting thing to think about. I never thought that would. I never knew that such a strategy for developing land in that manner existed.
Land value and railway station is heavily linked.
Have you seen the same trend in the Philippines? Like, have you seen certain developers do that strategy?
Actually, in Philippines, even in, I know, it's very few. Firstly, the developer do development, but they don't do the railway businesses. Basically, in Philippine, railway operation is conducted by the
government,
local government or national government. But some few project is conducted by private entity. They could develop railway station and the condominium shopping mall near the station, but it's really rare case in the Philippines.
It's not something that developers are taking advantage of. Right?
Maybe Philippine developer doesn't have knowledge about this. I think Ayala, like a big conglomerate, should do railway business and they combine railway business and property development.
I feel inclined to agree because it's killing two birds with one stone, right? Because for one thing, it'll improve everyone's commuting experience, which has been a big problem for how long already. And for another thing, it'll get them to really maximize the profits on their development.
Do you know the economic loss in Manila?
Economic loss?
Economic loss from the traffic congestion.
How bad is it?
How much amount of loss every day?
No, how much?
You don't know?
I don't.
3.5 billion peso every day.
Loss.
Happened.
That makes
from the traffic jam.
3.5
3.5 billion every day.
That's true.
That is a really big loss.
It is.
That's why railway is necessary to grow up more.
That makes me really happy to know we're finally getting better railways in the next 5 to 10 years.
Railway is a very important infrastructure. And good for environment. Railway is good for environment.
Because
no fuel,
fewer cars,
no gasoline, electricity. Good for environment. So railway necessary.
I have two streams of thought ongoing right now. One is the stream of thought that the more we converse, the more I appreciate railways. That's great. My second thought is intrusive because I do remember that isn't it true that a lot of Japanese anime tend to focus on those railway systems, specifically in the super robot genre. I remember there's this anime called Shinkalayan where the Transformer is a giant train on the railways. I can see now why Japan puts so much stock in their railway stations.
Railway, Japan, especially in Tokyo metropolitan area, railway is most important infrastructure.
I've had the pleasure of being able to go to Japan a few times in my life to visit, mostly no longer than a week with each trip. And I adore how much nicer it is to walk around. And someone pointed out one of the reasons why the Japanese suburbs sometimes feel so different from a regular suburb, let's say here in the Philippines or in the US is that you rarely see cars because everyone takes the railways or they just go on their bikes to go where they need to go. Even kaishain, they ride their bikes to work. That's fine, right?
Basically, we don't need a car for daily life in Japan. Train is really punctual. The train operator said even if they late 1 minute, they say, "I'm so sorry to be late 1 minute." This is the operation of Japanese subway, very punctual. So we don't need to use car, other transportation.
That gives me a lot of hope.
And very effective.
Yeah, it
effective and very good for environment.
True. There's something so aesthetically pleasing as well about just traversing through the different subway lines because Japan has made such good use of the real estate in subways. A lot of really good shops there, and it's a lot easier to navigate throughout all of the cities because you don't need overpasses. You can just go through the subway lines to go where you need to go. That's a major problem in the Philippines because we don't like our overpasses. A lot of them don't have escalators or they're placed very inconveniently. And I think one of the only places with underpasses is Makati. It's Greenbelt.
Okay.
Yeah. But in other big areas like even in BGC or in Ortigas, we don't have underpasses. We have to cross or and
even no railway station in BGC.
Yeah, there's none yet. I hope there is. It'll be really interesting to see a nearby railway station. In BGC. So regarding Philippine real estate, do you have any preferred, any specific personal preference for the companies that you're investing in?
Developer?
Yes, developers.
Oh, developer. There are many nice developer in Philippines. First, I always saying to Japanese people to choose developer which have a good track record.
The financial
because the biggest risk for investment in Philippine real estate, biggest risk. Do you know what is the biggest risk?
No, what is it?
Biggest risk is construction not finished. Because this is a system, pre-build, pre-sale.
Yes.
This is a standard system to buy property in Philippines, meaning that the people pay money first, then
it's built.
Then property come to. Okay, so if property developer bankrupt, not finished, even not bankrupt, the property developer which face financial difficulty, they cannot proceed construction on schedule. Okay, the compression is 1 year later, 2 years later, 3 years later. It's really bad for buyer. So I always say it is important to choose the right developer, meaning that they have a stable financial background. Also, they have a good track record to build a good quality of property.
And that's why...
Of course, like Ireland, one of the best. Shang property, Rockwell, those companies good.
That's really good insight. And for checking their track records, that would mean checking their financial statements and seeing how many of the buildings they made that were successfully turned over, right?
Track record. You can see track record, right? Track record and financial. Most of the quality property development in Philippines listed in stock market, meaning they disclose all of their financials, so anybody can check.
And check. That's our way of determining what makes a developer good.
Financial.
I'm glad that they're transparent.
But sometimes, small and medium developer product looks good. Looks good means good return, good yield, high yield if we let it out. good return. We can get a good return. Yeah, like 10% yield or something.
Yeah.
But in my experience, those project is pretty risky because the quality of the project is not good. That's why price is low. That's why it looks like yield is high. Looks high.
Ah.
Yeah. This is just generally speaking. But I say to our clients, good. You have to choose good, high quality developer. This is very important. Plus location. Only two factors. You should be care.
So, what location factors do you think you should look out for aside from being near important infrastructure? What other location factors should we be?
Location. Firstly, center of business district, Makati, BGC, and maybe Quezon City is also good. Quezon City already have a certain level of infrastructure because they are capital of Philippines, first capital of Philippines. So that price is still lower than BGC and Makati. So meaning that not undervalue, but lower value comparing with Makati and BGC. And they would have a good railway connection. Yeah, they are building a big terminal station in Quezon City. Four train line connected. So around this area, it's good. And what else? Yeah, I think there are many other my checking point always nears infrastructure. So maybe Bracan should be good because San Miguel is going to build a new airport. Yeah, and each, one of my favorite project is Manila City Subway. Manila City Subway. This is 35-kilometer railway. This is starting from Ninoy Aquino International Airport to the Quezon City.
Oh.
Yeah, they have I think 20 stations. They could build 20 stations. Each property near each 20 stations could be good.
That's very valuable insight. Just taking note of the infrastructure in the area right now.
So the important thing is to check the development plan of infrastructure, especially railway. Where is the route? Near the station. It's good.
I'm thinking really hard about that because Sir Ian said the same thing in that there are definitely places to watch out for in the future, especially in the next 5 to 10 years. Though it does have me wondering how the station properties or the land near the stations is going to be developed, right? Because a lot of them are already occupied by pre-existing buildings. So I wonder what they're going to do there or how it's going to look. Let me see if I can summarize everything we've talked about and everything you've taught me so far. On the topic of stocks, better to start as soon as possible and to embrace the failure that comes.
Start now.
Yeah.
Always start now. Always start now. It's very important.
And AB Capital is one example of an app. You're using that specifically.
And you can use Gcash. Utilize Gcash is very convenient.
And when you're investing in stocks, aim for the investment type of stock rather than speculation at first, because speculation is a completely different field. But right now, with the way the Philippines is, macroeconomically speaking, we are stable enough that we can get good returns of investment as long as we start now and invest in infrastructure, in food services, in transportation. Those three specifically, right?
And bank.
Oh, and banks, because the banks are the ones who are going to
need
be
money.
True, and they're going to be loaning money out like crazy, right?
Bank is good. Yeah.
On the topic of Philippine macroeconomy, part of the reason why our investments are telecom. Yeah, you're right, because we still have to connect the entirety of the Philippines regarding telecom.
But in relation with telecom.
Mm.
This telecom is they are infrastructure. They are doing the infrastructure business, and at the same time they are tech company.
That's true.
Gcash is conducted by Globe Telecom. So I think Gcash could be IPO near future. Their market cap expected 1 trillion peso or something. Really
wow.
biggest IPO in the history could be happen. So the telecom company is not only infrastructure company but also tech company. They are preparing many fintech application like Gcash. This is also big potentiality for growth fintech. Everyone buys something. So
True. Plus, once all of the infrastructure and all of the transportation is established, and the Philippines moves on to being nearly mature, then that means Globe would already have a head start, right? Because they're the ones who have been spreading both the network infrastructure and starting on fintech before their competition.
Fintech is very big market.
All right. And then with regards to the macroeconomy, part of the reason why we're so stable with regards to growth is because we've been at 6 to 7% gross domestic product growth over the past 10 years, basically fighting with Vietnam, right? For the top one spot. Our working population is twice the number of people compared to the non-working population, which means we have a lot of buyer power, and our infrastructure, which is supposed to be the base of our economy, is already at a really good growth stage, which means that not only does our GDP have the chance to grow even more over the next 5 to 10 years, but it also means we, the consumers, will be able to boost it up even more, because hopefully we'll have more buying power.
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of real estate, we have to really examine the financials, the reputation, and the track record of the developers. Because the last thing you'd want is for a developer to be either encounter financial difficulties or go bankrupt. If a developer goes through either of the two, then you could face losses in your investment because of delays or outright cancellation in construction. Did I get all that?
This is the biggest risk for
investing in Philippine real estate. So that's why a lot of the strong developers like Shang, like Ayala, like SM are favorable because of their track record and the fact they've been at least pretty consistent with turning over those their buildings and their projects. All right. I think that's already so much to take in, and I'm really thankful that we were able to have this talk, that you were able to teach me about all of this as a beginner to the entirety of investing, to the entirety of economy. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. So to cap off this session, I'd like to ask if there were any advice or if there were any specific actions you'd have wanted to do, or any regrets regarding your starting career in investment when you were, say, 23 or 24. Is there anything you would have done differently at that age, now that you know what it is you know about investing?
About investing? Okay. Of course, when I started the investment, when I was young, I don't have much knowledge. So, of course, I make failure. Success, failure, but at the time of I made failure, I was really sad and disappointed. Of course, we lose money, but considering it from now, it's good study for me. It is very important piece of my knowledge
because
and skill of the investment. So meaning that no action, no failure. It's important thing is action. Do it soon. Earlier is better. Investment, time, length of time is most important things for investment. Usually the asset value is going up on the time. So meaning that the starting earlier is better than starting later. And make a failure, it is good study for you.
I think that's a
Yeah.
wonderful summary of
Yeah.
everything
Yeah, yeah,
we talked about today.
Yeah.
Start now and go ahead and fail, because that's
Mm.
what'll move you forward.
Mm.
Thank you much. Thank you again so much, Iemura-san.
Okay.
I think this would be a wonderful time to wrap up our podcast. So, to everyone who attended our premiere, thank you very much for gracing us with your presence. And once again, Iemura-san, thank you for being here.
And
as
by the
our
way,
special guest.
can I do some advertisement?
Of course.
I'm going to publish a book called Investment in the Philippines. This is actually second version. We are going to publish soon. So it's very good textbook for anyone to start investment.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
looking forward to reading it when it comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, I need it. All right. So you heard Iemura-san. He'll be coming out with a textbook on investing soon. So please, once it does come out, and we'll probably post it on the GSR page when it does, feel free and grab a copy so that you can gain more of his distilled insights. And if you liked today's content and you would like to follow us more and the like, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our socials, because we have a Facebook page. It's GSR Philippines. We'll be posting this podcast not only here but also on Facebook, possibly clips and reels as well on IG as well. And we also are up on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, and we're on YouTube Music. So I guess that's about it. Oh, right. We also have a Linktree account that we will be able to flash on the page below. And I guess that's about it with regards to socials. So this has been the GSR podcast on the topic of investing in the Philippines. I'm your host, Jose Angela Zolvera. It's been a pleasure being with everyone. And this has been Hitoshi Iemura-san. Thank you again
Thank you very much.
And till the next time. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.